Welcome back, guys. So, I wanted to do another video. This video is about eugenics. You may see me talk about it a lot, type it a lot. You may see me hashtag it a lot. So, let's just go over a few little details. And I'm asking if anyone have any information. If you guys want to discuss this, please reach out. Don't just let it be um, I'm not the one to just let to be closed minded. Let's just say that. Um, so you have to know when something began, as well as to know when or if it ended, and to understand the time frame in between. What else was going on during that time frame? Um, so we see here eugenics. When did it start? Who began this practice? Charles Darwin. Supposedly, I say supposedly because of a lot of reasons. But anywho, eugenics means well and born, which are two Greek words. Why is that important? I'll make a video specifically about that, but just keep that in mind. Um, Others that that practiced eugenics was Charles Davenport and Galton. Um, so yeah, they basically came up with this whole thing to transform human race and try to keep the Caucasian race alive. Again, back to Dr. Francis Welsing video. That's what everything is about. COVID-19, everything. Them having control of all the institutions, education system, housing, all of that is all about this. It's all about continuing the Caucasian race to be superior at that. Um, so yeah. Buck versus Bell 130 SE 516 519. It says that that's a case that can prove eugenics. So when you get things like that, what I like to do is I like to go research. So let's go research. Buck versus Bell 130 SE. So what Mr. Swindle Hoodwinked and the Generation Nation is fighting for is because they know that if we are educated on the way that Jim Crow laws and eugenics were allowed to be practiced on us, then they won't be able to do it anymore. And they would lose all superiority. So let's look at Buck versus Bell. Is a decision, and this was in 1927, is a decision of the United States Supreme Court written by Justice Oliver Wendell Holmes Jr., in which the court ruled that a state statute permitting compulsory sterilization of the unfit, including the intellectually disabled, for the protection and health of the state, did not violate the due process clause of the 14th Amendment to the United States Constitution. The Supreme Court has never expressly overturned Buck versus Bell. So then we go down to background. And the first thing it says is the concept of eugenics was propounded in 1883 by Francis Galton, who also coined the name. The idea first became popular in the United States and had found proponents in Europe by the start and had found proponents in what? In Europe. By the start of the 20th century, 42 of the 58 research papers presented at the first International Congress of Eugenics. So they had a first International Congress of Eugenics held in London in 1912. Now, again, if you guys have your timelines out, you'll know that right after this was 1913. What happened in 1913? That's when the tax thing started. We know 1919 was some race, we know 1908, Jack Johnson had his fight. And we know that after the second fight with Great White Hope, they started the Caucasians got so angry they went out and the mass murderers again. Now, 42 of the 58 research papers presented at the first International Congress of Eugenics held in London in 1912 were from American scientists. Indiana passed the first eugenic sterilization statute in 1907, but it was legally flawed. To remedy that situation, Harry Laughlin of the Eugenics Record Office at the Cold Spring Harbor Laboratory designed a model eugenic law that was reviewed by legal experts. In 1924, the Commonwealth of Virginia adopted a statute authorizing the compulsory sterilization of the intellectually disabled for the purpose of eugenics, a statute closely based on Laughlin's model. So, I mean, you guys can go and look this up yourselves. I've already done the research and got what I needed from the information, but I would suggest you go and look through it as well. Because not only do you have to read through this, you have to, again, understand what was going on right before and right after this, which will help you make a better understanding. Now, tell me how all of 95% of the Just Us system is Caucasian. 9 times out of 10, you go to law enforcement, 95% of the police officers, Caucasian. Their superiors, Caucasian. Lawyers, Caucasian. Go into court, Caucasian. Judges, Caucasian. DAs, Caucasian. Supreme Court judges, Caucasian. So Holmes concluded his argument by declaring that 3 generations of imbeciles are enough. So yeah, Carrie Buck was operated upon, receiving a compulsory, I'm not even going to try and say that, which is a form of tubal ligation. She was later paroled from the institution. Now, while we're talking about eugenics, you must know who Dr. Sims is. If you don't know who Dr. Sims is, you need to go and look him up. And you have to be careful with the words they use. Whatever someone is doesn't give them a right, doesn't give Caucasians a right to, if you're mentally ill or whatever definitions, their wordplay they try and utilize to do their racist acts and their wicked acts, it doesn't make a difference. Nobody gave you Caucasians the right to handle all mental issues, all science issues, all world issues. No, it doesn't work that way. But these are the things that they don't want you to know. They don't want you to understand. Go watch some videos on eugenics. Go do some research on eugenics. Add it to your timeline. See how it's still happening today. The vaccines. Eugenics, vaccines equals eugenics. If you guys haven't gotten that by now, I don't know what to tell you. So until next time, guys, thanks for watching.